Morning, YouTube. Well, back on the road, and today I'm in Leroy, New York, and I am about to visit the Jello Museum. Yeah, that's right, Jello Museum. So, should be interesting. Okay, so a few factoids of what Jello. It was invented in late 1800s and like 1897. Pearl Bixby Waite, who was a carpenter here in Leroy, but he made patent medicines after hours, and he invented this gelatin dessert. His wife called it Jello. Tried to market it for a few years, and it just didn't take off. And he sold all the rice, recipes, everything to Orator Woodward for $450. And within a few years, he was so frustrated trying to market it that he offered it to his business partner for $35. And the business partner said, if you can't sell it, I can't sell it, forget it. But they were able to sell it to the, he owned the Genesee Pure Foods Company, and by sending it out and giving it away for free and recipes for free, he was able to make it popular, and eventually they were bought by Postum Cereal Company, which became for $66 million. So it was a pretty good investment, and it became the first two parts of General Foods. So anybody wants some interesting ideas for Jello recipes? You got your marshmallow Jello, Neapolitan Jello, blue goo volcano, savory vegetable mold. I think that's the marshmallow one. There's a Spanish Jello salad, under the sea salad. So might be interesting. So the blue goo volcano is the one that intrigues me. So here's a shot of the recipe, and I'll take a still shot. So there's been all kinds of Jello flavors. Most interesting for some of my friends and family would be coffee. It was only available for a year and only in selected spots. Not a big seller. But from reports, it's basically a raspberry Jello with lots of espresso added to it. So I suppose if you made Jello, raspberry Jello using coffee or espresso, you might end up with something interesting. So if anybody wants to try that, please let me know. One thing that's sort of interesting is that you know what an EKG is, right? So they did an EKG on a human brain, and then they did an EKG on Jello, and this is the results. I'm not sure which one's which, but to my untrained eye, those are pretty close to being identical. So instead of me saying SpaghettiOs, maybe I'll say Jello. So everybody probably at one point or another at their grandmother's house or maybe their parents' house, if you're old, remember seeing the copper Jello molds. And here's an idea of some of the Jello molds. I believe my mom had that fish one. And everybody had something like that, or that one down there. But some of these are pretty elaborate, pretty cool. Of course, earlier ones would have been metal or ceramic, you know, and they got these now. A lot of silicone ones are out there, so you can get all kinds of different ones. And a few sports cards collectors out there. Did you know baseball trading cards came in Jello? And They were 62, 63. I vaguely remember those. I remember them being on cereal boxes from General Foods, but I don't remember the Jello ones. But then we didn't eat that much Jello to collect that many. Oh, here's gelatin around the world. It's not always called Jello because other people could make it. Some is jelly, and I can't read some of these. But these are the current flavors that are available. So still got the original flavors, but you also got the combinations of strawberry banana and things like that. I eat a lot of raspberry Jello with fruit in it because I can get it. So down in the basement of the museum, they've got a display of transportation devices, not necessarily connected up with the Jello, but this little beauty is a 1908 Cadillac Model S. Pretty sweet. For those who don't know, Leroy is just a little ways east of Buffalo and is subjected to the same kind of storms that hit Buffalo. So in order to get around in the wintertime, something like these would have been essential back in the day. Well, that's a pretty nice one. Single horse, same with that one over there. Well, in front of the Jello Museum, which is behind me, is the Historic Society. So there's a historic house here. I can't do pictures inside, but you know, it's free, so why not? Well, that concludes my visit to the Jello Museum. It's here on Main Street in Leroy, behind the Historic Society, and it's interesting. Although, you know, it's cost $5 for me. Children 5 and under are free. So if you get by this way, check it out. Well, Leroy is not on Route 20. It's on Route 5, which parallels 20 for a ways, but also they do join together just down the road a little ways, and it's worth a side trip to come up here and check this out. There's a couple other places. Next video I'm going to do another little side trip off of 20 to get to another historic site. So see you later, YouTube.